Peace, love, and light. How y'all doing? I hope all is well. My name is Naisa Esther Ray, and I'm back with another video. Today's video is The Chosen. Go through so much. Go to different places to deliver the land, to spread your light, and to bless those in your presence. So I can give my experience with this because I feel like sometimes the places I go, I don't be trying to go, or I probably walk into a circumstance that it's kind of, iffy and things like that, but I know that I'm there for a reason, to be that light, to be that beacon. And a lot of the chosens are lights in the darkness. And so sometimes we have to go places that we don't want to go. Sometimes we have to meet people that we don't want to meet so that we can bless them, so that we can bring the God's presence with us and to help that place. So I feel like when I was in different people that we meet and certain things like that, like, you might change their whole life by just being in their presence. You being there might stop something, destruction from happening, or some type of violent thing from happening because your presence is there. Or you just speaking to that person, you bless their day and help them and their wishes and their prayers. I used to feel like as soon as somebody speaks to me and they tell me the things that they want in life and everything like that, I felt like I was like the messenger or the link between them and God. So whatever they were praying for, whatever they were hoping for, I'm like, okay, yeah, you want that, you want that. I'm lining that things up and I'm talking to God, and I'm like, yeah, they want this and they want that. If you can make that happen, if that's in your will. And a lot of people, that's why we're here, to be that bridge, to help people and guide people and to lead them onto the right path, and to also to be their help and to guide them and things like that, and to bring light into darkness. And then when you're touching, you're a holy person, you're touching the land, you're bringing holiness into the land, you're spreading your light out into the world and everything like that, and people are able to see you, and they're able to see the God within you, they're able to see God speaking through you, and they're able to change their ways, or they're able to be enlightened at that point, or they'll be able to receive that frequency that you're emitting and that is all around you. So for my experience is when I went to Las Vegas, worst place I ever been through in my life. Like, I literally felt the sin that's all in that place, and I felt like I had to go there to be able to bring some righteousness up into this place. Because I'll tell you what my whole experience for what happened when I went. I'm gonna have to sit down for this because Lord give me strength. So I had got the flight, and I was with my husband and my mom, and I had just got off work. I was already tired on the flight and everything like that, and I was just, praying that the flight was smooth and things like that. And I went with no protection because this was a time where I was transitioning from the occult onto, walking with God. So I was getting rid of all my talismans and things for protections, all the evil eyes and different things like that. So I had no protection with me, so I knew that my energy might have been, not at its fullness. It was probably a little weak, but I was just there to have fun. I'm like, I'm about to party. This is gonna be like my vacation, also celebrate my sister's birthday. So I had got off the plane, and we had immediately, we were at the airport. There was some resistance. My phone had dropped, and it broke. Like, it was not, I wasn't able to get onto my phone. So I'm like, damn, I don't have no phone. I wanted to record certain things and make certain videos and start the vlog for my trip to Vegas. So that was one thing that went wrong. And then we finally had got a Lyft ride. We found out that we got there super early, like 9 in the morning, and our check-in to our Airbnb was at 5. So I'm like, dang, now we're gonna have to wait with our bags, with our luggage, and just sit around. So I'm like, whenever we're around different places and we have to be there for a long amount of times, it's sometimes your time is wasted, but sometimes you're there because you have to make a difference in that room, or you need to meet certain people, or your energy needs to be there to save somebody, help somebody, deliver somebody, spread some light somewhere. So we were at the airport for about 2 hours, and then we finally started walking around. And I'm like, let's just get to the weed store and the liquor store. So since I'm out here and gonna be waiting hours to get in to lay down, I might as well get lit while I'm at it. So we went to the edible place, and the man was driving in a Lyft, and I'm like, take us to Cookies, because that's like a really good spot for getting some weed and stuff. And there was a long line outside of Cookies, so I'm like, okay, we can't go to Cookies, just take us to the other Cookies around on the other side of the street, so on the other side of town, because they had both on one side of town. So I'm like, I realized that he was not going the right place and everything like that. And they like, where he going? And I'm like, he's taking us to the Cookies on the other side of the town. And he's looking in the rearview mirror like, you think I'm taking you to the Cookies on the other side of town? And he dropped us off at this one expensive weed store. And I'm just like, well, that's kind of interesting, because I asked you to take me to, and they wasn't, the Lyft drivers, and they wasn't listening and nothing. So I was asking them to take me to the Cookies, but they wasn't going to take me to the Cookies. So he took us to the spot, and then I realized that he not only took us there because it was closest to him, he also took us there because he was getting his own little cut. So I'm like, okay, they already sketchy up here in Las Vegas. What is y'all doing? You didn't take me to where I need to go, and now you're getting some money or a cut for bringing us to this one spot. So I automatically, and then I asked the woman, like, why was he standing by the door or the window? And she's like, oh, that's just, he just signing in y'all in for that he dropped y'all off or whatever. That's just a drop off. But that was him signing us in for these people that he had brought to the spot so he can get his own little cut. So I'm like, okay, y'all lying and y'all being sketchy, but I'm not gonna focus on the negative. I'm just about to get these, these edibles and be good. So I had got my edibles. I had these chocolate covered almonds that was like 100 milligrams of THC, and it was really strong. And then we went to the liquor store, and I had got me some 1800, and I'm like, okay, I'm finna be lit, like. And the person was like, we was looking for a spot to eat. Me and my husband wanted some pizza, but my mom wanted some breakfast. So the dude was like, at the liquor store, he was, staring at me the whole time and everything like that. But he was like, y'all trying to look for a place to eat? We know a spot that's right up the street called Bilberry Hill or some shit like that, or some stuff like that. And he was like, they sell everything from breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So y'all go right up the street, y'all could walk there. And I'm like, okay. And my mom was like, okay, cool, that works out. And I'm like, yeah, I guess. So we go walking there and everything. And when we got to the place, they said it's gonna be a 45-minute wait for to get into the building. There was already people all around. So I'm like, okay, there's people already around. They already giving the evil eye, just looking real sketchy and everything. So I'm like, I'm just gonna sit here and drink, and right outside the place, drink and eat my stuff. So I was already feeling a little bit of tipsy and things like that. And then after 30 minutes, they was like, okay, we got a spot for y'all. So I went up in there, and I just got a bad feeling of the place. Even the picture of the place looked like death. Like they had some baby that was like a sucking baby, like really dark, pouring some blueberries out, but it looked like shit. Like, I ain't gonna lie, shit was looking weird. And so after that, I just was like, I'll get the pancakes and I think I got egg benedict or something like that. My mom and my boyfriend got their food first, and they was just smashing. And I just was feeling my energy being drained. There started to be people that started coming in the building. And, I can read energy a lot. And I felt like they was sending like daggers to me. Like they was sending arrows towards me and things like that. And they were just standing around outside by the window where I was at and everything like that, and just like soaking up my energy like a mug. And I was feeling drained and everything. I started to get like kind of woozy, and my started to make up a lot of mistakes and stuff, dropping stuff. I already know when I'm dropping things, people are staring at you and things like that. So like I would go directly to those or my enemies or those who are against me and things. So I just kept looking around and different things like that. And I got my food, and it didn't look good. It didn't look appetizing. And God told me, or something told me, like, don't eat the food because, they're trying to poison you. So I didn't eat the food, and I'm like, I don't even like how this looks. I don't even, like how it smells, and I just don't feel comfortable here. So I just, sat down and chilled. I dropped my wallet, like all my cards and stuff out of my wallet, and I was like thinking like somebody was going to take my stuff, like, period. But that didn't happen there, and it was just continued to crowd around me and different things like that. So I started feeling the energy. I started to get kind of fearful. I started to get a little bit, anxious and stuff like that. And I also was getting kind of mad that, they were surrounding me like that. Like they were coming around me just like trying to take my energy and also try and poison me. So I took out my book and just started to write down my thoughts, get it out of me, release, because I realized I had to calm my energy down a lot. So I started writing down different things, and then afterwards we left, and the same people who I were being directed to that were trying to cast different spells on me was right there as I was leaving out. So I'm like, excuse me, like, can you like really like get out my way? Like I'm gonna forgive y'all, because I know that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but it was also very frustrating. So finally got out of there, but we were there for another hour and a half because we were waiting on a lift to come, and it was like we was waiting for so long. And the time we were sitting there waiting, more people were coming around, and it was just like, wow, what's going on? But I was already like fucking high and drunk at that point, so I wasn't really worried about it. I wasn't trying to think too much into it, because I knew who I am and everything. I know who I was, and at that point. So afterwards, we asked them to take us to the spot where there was water fountains and things like that. And so I talked to the Lyft driver, and I'm like, where is I think we're going the wrong spot. Where is the water fountain show and things like that? And he completely ignored me. And so I'm like, wow, I guess we don't speak back out here. I was being real sarcastic. I was like, I guess, you're not hearing what I'm saying and things like that. And so he just like continued to ignore me. And then he asked a couple questions, and I'm like, okay, maybe he, had to change of heart and things like that. So I'm speaking back to him and everything like that. But my mom, he was only asking questions and answering my mom. And so, they were smirking and laughing about that and everything. And I'm just like, okay, well, I guess I don't need to talk to you and things like that. Like, even if, he probably knew who I was and everything like that, or they probably had some issue with the skin color and things like that. And then, but, I wasn't going to let it get to me. So we got to the spot, and, I wasn't feeling it, because I just, I felt all the different attacks that were going around. People were coming around me making sounds like, they was making sounds like that. They were doing stuff with their hands, doing certain witchcraft things. They were, popping the gum, and they had a lot of like glasses on and things like that. And I was just like, who is making all this noise? And why the hell do I hear it right in my ear? And my throat was getting sore. It was getting kind of cold. The clouds kept coming over. I could literally see in the clouds angels fighting for me. And I thought they were fighting because I was in the city and I wasn't supposed to be there and things like that. But after a while, I realized it was because demons was trying to attack me and taking certain bodies, and they literally was taking over everybody who was around me. So it felt like it was me against the world. It felt like it was me against the devil. It was me against the demonic energies that were going on. And I was literally seeing them coming all around, and I just knew who was who, because they were just sitting there staring at me across the courtyard, or they had their sunglasses on and just like, coming around me, making different noise, doing things, because I felt like the spells that they were trying to cast were trying to cut off my throat, and also get me distracted, get me to act kind of crazy and keep looking around and see who was doing what, and also put a cloud over me. And so after all that was going on, I just didn't even feel like I wanted to watch the fountain show or the waterfalls and things like that. So I was just, and we also were tired because we just got off a flight. We had to wait hours to get into the Airbnb. So I was just with my husband and just talking with him and just chilling while my mom was by the water fountain and everything. And she was like, go up there to the water fountain. And I just was like, no, I'm not feeling it. And my phone, I kept losing my phone, and I already know that these demons like to steal stuff. And so I'm just like, every time I lost my phone, I'm just like, give me my phone back. Where's my phone? Da 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 da. And so I finally had got my phone, and I went over to the water fountain thing. And when I went over to the water fountain, they were coming around me, trying to steal my energy, trying to cast different spells on me and different things like that. And so I felt like it was like a fight for my life by that water fountain. And God really came through, because when the cloud was coming over, it even started raining, and it was like a beautiful day. And I like picked up myself, got stronger, and the sun came out and was shining on me, and it was shining directly on me, and everybody scattered. Like, everybody scattered. Like, the demons just was like, they couldn't even look at me at that point. Because I felt like that's when I first got the anointing, and the clouds disappeared and everything like that. And I was like, I felt like the angels was fighting for me, and I also wanted to help myself and just be strong and be strength and everything like that. So they were come after that. They already had their sunglasses on because they couldn't stand the light, and the light that I had. They seen the light that I had and everything like that. But then when the sun came out and it was just like more power and strong around me, they had to leave. So they started to depart themselves from around me and things like that. And at that point, I'm like, okay, I could chill now. I could probably smoke and things like that. And I felt like I felt like I was literally on the Truman Show. And I'm like, dang, I'm here for a long ass time, and I know I'm here for a reason. I gotta spread my light. So I started to just have a good vibration, good energy, take certain pictures, enjoy the moment. Even though my body was hurting, I had pain and sparks all over my body from them casting spells on me and sending the amount of energy to me and everything, just trying to get off. It was being unsuccessful. So they kept sending in another round of demons, another round of people to come around me and do some things. I started to, sit there and smoke with my husband, and the blunt would because you can't smoke around in the city, even though it's legal to buy it, you can't smoke it. So the blunt fell, and I'm like, damn, the blunt fell and everything like that, bad luck. And somebody was watching, and I'm like, shit. So I go pick up the blunt, and somebody was literally looking at me smiling like, yeah, we got you. And I was like, damn. So let's just take out the blunt, because they're attracted to the smell of the blunt and things like that. And they also, we dropped it, and I felt like a defense. My defenses were down when I need to keep my defenses up, because I still had the attacks going around. So after that, and after the sun came out, and it was like the clouds disappeared, the people had scattered, the demons had scattered, and they were no longer bothering me, and they could no longer test me. The lift that we were trying to get finally went through, and then I realized my phone was gone. And I'm like, oh my God, after everything that I've been trying to do to keep my phone with me, after these people were stealing my phone left and right the whole day, I finally, got my power back, got my strength back, even though I'm hurting all over, I'm in pain. My phone's still gone. So I end up going into the casino, and I had lost my phone in the casino earlier. When I was in the bathroom, and I was still tipsy, high and drunk, so I had left my phone in the stall. And when I realized it, I came back, and I'm like, you all, do you see my phone? This one person had came out the stall that I was in, and she had a purse, and she was holding on to it real tight. So I'm like, do you have my phone? Have you seen my phone? And she's like, no. And I'm like, well, are you sure? And she's like, yes, I haven't seen your phone. And she started acting real defensive. So I started following her outside of the bathroom, and she started speeding and walking away from me. So I'm like, okay, maybe she didn't have my phone. Maybe she just like, oh, this girl's about to steal my purse and everything like that. So then I'm like knocking on the doors and everything like that. Like, have y'all seen my phone? And after a while, I'm like, dang, maybe all hope is lost. Somebody came out and was like, is this your phone? Sorry, I didn't know if you were knocking on my stall. I didn't know if you were knocking on my stall and saying something about a phone, but this one was in the stall. I'm like, okay, so I knew that they was trying to take my phone. I'm like, why were they trying to take my phone like this? Like, they're not gonna get no information or things out of my phone. Like, it's just a phone. I just mostly take pictures and stuff, and things like that. And even if they wanted to get in my phone, they couldn't, because I had broke it at the airport, which I feel like everything happens for a reason. I broke it at the airport so that no one could get in my phone, because once they had it and I went back into the casino, I went to the front desk and security. They was like, what is on your phone and everything like that. I was like, it's just a picture of my phone. And I told them the name of the phone and everything like that. But then they asked me the service of my phone. Like, why do you need to know the service of the phone? Then I started thinking about how if you can get into the service of the phone and get to unlock certain things and data and stuff like that and get their information. So I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have said that. But still, like, I had nothing encrypting on my phone. Even though I know who I am, I had nothing that was going to really like damage, myself or my image. So I went back outside. I'm like, they said they didn't have my phone, but they're looking for it. They asked for the service number. They asked for the type of phone, everything like that. And my mom was like, they do have your phone because somebody answered it. Some Chinese man answered it. You need to go back up there and get your phone. So I'm like, oh my goodness. So who had my phone? So I'm like, give me my phone, give me my phone. And I finally got it and everything like that. And, they was directing me in the right directions, but they weren't working with me because I feel like they were all on it. Like I said, it was the Truman Show, coming all around as different people and cast. And I know in Las Vegas, there are really like some actors out there, and I feel like they were all being known of when I was coming, where I was shutting down at, where I was at, so they can come around me and really try me. And so that happened, and that whole day was like the worst day of my life. And we finally made it to the Airbnb and things like that. I had smoked a little bit and I still felt the attacks on my body. And I remember that night I watched a video that said God hid you from them because they didn't know who you were. They couldn't take in the power that you had, the energy. All they wanted to was to use to steal and destroy from you. So God hid you from them and made them turn their cheek, because after all that happened and the sun came out and I had got my power back and things like that, they weren't around me after that. They weren't even looking at me after that. It's like they couldn't. It's like God really had hid me in plain sight from these demonic energies, from these sinful people who were taking advantage of me, taking advantage of my power. And just that I didn't have any defenses up, or I wasn't saying any prayers, I wasn't doing anything. And I just sat there and I cried, and I cried and I just wanted to lay in bed. And then because I was high, because I was thinking about how they were attacking me like that, because I was trying to figure out the enemy or the devil's plan, I had my life taken again for the third time that day. And I felt I knew I was going to sleep. I knew I was losing my life. And I just was praying to God, and I felt the tug on my soul for the third and final time. And I resurrected again, and I laid in bed and I just cried, and I just I wanted my husband to hold me. And I'm like, they keep trying to kill me. They keep trying to kill me, and I keep coming back to life. And they're attacking me. My whole body was hurting. I have sparks and pains and sharp pains and everything all over my body and everything like that. And even afterwards, I was out on the balcony, just smoking and things like that. I realized that I had to stop smoking because my vibration was becoming too low to where the attacks were getting through. But my mom was like, she came out and she was like, oh, I thought Nisa was gone. And I'm like, no, I'm still here. Like, we didn't go out that night because of everything that happened in the day. I didn't even want to risk it. I didn't even want to give them another chance and things like that. So she was like, oh, I thought Nisa was gone. And I'm like, no, I'm still here. And she went back in the house and everything like that. But and then after that, I'm just like, I'm not gonna no longer allow myself to be used in that way. I'm not gonna allow myself to be defeated. So I started playing I Will Survive by Gloria, and I just was like, if y'all really want my attention so fucking bad, I'm just about to start demanding and casting you demons out, and then demanding you to get away from me and everything like that, and stand in my power and walk with that power and walk with that anointing, and really just smile in their faces. Like, even if you try to take me out again and again, I'm still here and I still have a higher purpose. So after that, I was on beast mode. I was on my boss game and everything like that, and I was getting certain visions and dreams that was telling me, don't go there, or if you're there, don't be there for long because this might happen and that might happen. So I was able to help my family, save my family, and help me out. And all I wanted to do was get up out of Las Vegas. And I had a dream that, my brother, who Jesus takes the form of my brother sometimes, and my father, and the demons was coming towards him, and he was just like knocking them out the way like this and everything like that. And I seen that he was, fighting against these demons, so I'm like, let me have a chance. Like, let me try. And I was like, let my turn, and I was doing it. And so I realized that it was showing me what was happening that day when all these demons and evil people were coming around me. God was fighting for me. The angels were fighting for me. And then I took the matters in my own hands and was like, I'll fight as well and stand in my power and knock them out. And then afterwards, I'm like, things keep happening. All these things, we keep going to these different places. People are following me. Helicopters are following me. Police officers are following me. And bad things keep happening. What do I need to do? And it was saying, like, you need to get out, or you need to, you need to get out, you need to just pay attention and things like that. And so afterwards, I just just was doing right and just trying my best to protect my own family and continue to pray and different like that, control my energy, because I felt like after a lot had been exposed and a lot has been done to me, my negativity was released, and a lot of my energy was, at a whole heightened type of level. So I had to control myself, and I had to make sure that my energy wasn't being put into the wrong places, or that I wasn't manifesting certain negative events to happen into the whole trip and things like that. Control my emotions. So after that, everything went well. It was smooth, and I was just like praying that I would be able to make it out. And I went to a lot of places. I went to this one place too that had Mary and Mary Magdalene candles burning, and it was like a Catholic Mexican place and things like that. And I felt very safe within that place. It was like I was in kind of like a chapel / flower place and things like that. And after I had Mexican food, and it was pretty good, but then there was a homeless man who was saying he needed some food and things like that, and I felt like that was a test from God. So I gave him my food and everything, and he was happy that he had got that food. And then on the airport and on our way to the Airbnb that we were going to another spot to wait, there were birds leading the way, like protecting me, and angels leading the way to the spot, just like guarding me off from all negativity and all demons and things like that. So I feel like after the things that happened and transpired, I needed to be there to show people light and love and forgive them, and then also, to help them reflect and see what they were, the negative energy that they were bringing off, and the different stereotypes and misconceptions that they have for people like me and things like that. And after that, I was like being protected and being rewarded and being guided along my path. And so that was like my whole experience with Las Vegas, and I will never go there again. I had dreams of being there, and I've been there many times in different past lives and different dreams. And whenever I was there, I was stuck in the desert, or I either was arrested, or I either died there. And it was all premonitions of what was to come, and a lot of things that that was shown to me for me to prevent them from happening, and for me to just be forewarned of a lot of things. So I'm never going back there, and I'm just thankful that I was able to reach God in that time, and that He's always been with me, protecting me and guiding me, and that all those things were lessons, and all those things were to show me, how evil people can get, how evil these demonic energies want to attack you or want to take you out. However, they have no say at the end of the day, because God gives you life. He breathes life back into me, just like He breathes life back into us every day. He always directs us. He takes us to certain places to challenge us and to help us to, rise above, and to be stronger, and to be powerful, and to be able to seek Him out when we need to seek Him out, and to know that we're always protected. And even if, we don't know what angels, we don't know who has our back in the spiritual realm, and we could see in the heavens and the skies the angels and all things, and who are fighting for us. And then we could see as the birds flying around us who are still guiding us and protecting us. So we're always protected, and we have to go to certain places to be able to help other people. So afterwards, I said my prayers that I'll be able to leave Las Vegas safely. And I also pray for every single person up in that city, because I felt the negative energy that was in there, and I just wanted to make sure that everybody was blessed and everybody was protected and saved, and just wishing well on them, even if I was wishing the worst on me. And so that was my video today. I hope that this helped people and helped them see that even the chosen people have a high burden, a high calling, that we're go to certain places, or we're born into certain demonic families, or we're born into certain timelines that might be the worst, just so that we can save them and help them. Peace and bliss.